To the crew, to the crew, to the crew. What's going on, everybody? 161 Mafia's in the house. What's happening? Robert, Mike. Who else we got here? Cole Vader, AB. What's happening, gang? What is up? What's up? Good day from Bangkok. Thailand's in the house. What's up, baby? Daily Dose. What's happening, buddy? 3 essays to write. Dude, get your schoolwork done first, always. Okay? Appreciate the kind words, bro. You know, always do what you have to do now so you can do what you want to do later. So, yo, Jack, Cole Vader, hey, Gerald, Montaigne, sup? You keep hustling daily, too. You keep doing your thing. So before you go, I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you a quote. There's only one place in the world where success comes before work, and that's the dictionary. So go get your work done, Daily Dose. All right? You know we'll be around. And we know we'll be around Saturday night, too, bud. Arnold, Jason, Paris, what's going on, everybody? Trey, Gerald in the house, everybody. Well, see, it's crazy you mentioned that, Cole Vader. I have my my phone right here, and I'm looking for updates while we stream, because if something breaks, we're going to know about it, and I'm going to report it immediately. So I really hope something does pop. It would be pretty cool if we could break something during this live stream. I mean, the Yankees have until Friday to submit the names of guys that they're going to pop up on to protect from the Rule 5 draft. So there has to be moves. And in order to do that, they have to be put on the 40-man roster. So they're going to have to make corresponding moves. So there's going to be a lot of activity in the next, now I think it's under 48 hours. So right around 48 hours. So this is going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. And they haven't really done anything yet, aside from putting, Donnie Sands on there and filling it back up with Joe Ellie. But they're at 40 right now, so they have moves they need to make. So, Elish Marquez, what's happening? G-Man, hey, Lori. Eddie, what's up, man? Mike, Luden, they get the whole gang in the house. What's going on, everybody? There's been a great, Trevor. Mike. I'm predicting Trevor Story to the Yankees. So, I mean, I still think he's the best value and the best fit for them. And we get so much speculation from this, from that. It's just, like I said in my videos, until the Yankees actually confirm this, until it's actually verified, everything is speculation. And I I enjoy spec and rumors, but I'm not putting out something saying that it's happened when it hasn't happened yet. So I'm not doing that. And I'm also going to say, I'm not going to say I have a source saying blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not doing it either. So sources are sources, speculation is speculation. But, I do think guys that will be likely moved from the roster will be Andujar, probably Frazier, Voit, potentially Oswald Peraza in a trade. I mean, there's still speculation as to what's going on with Oakland with Olsen. So my guess is, and this is guessing, but Cashman's probably holding out for a trade to get something back with Olsen, maybe Olsen, one of those pitchers. So I can't see them giving him 4 or 5 guys for just Matt Olsen. I just can't. So good to see you, man. So I can't see that. So, but and Cashman's known for pulling tricks and trades out of his sleeves out of nowhere. So he has that Houdini factor too. So, I do expect quite a few moves to be made by him, particularly in the trade front. So, Matt G, I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't think the Dodgers are going to let him go anywhere because they gave up so much to trade for him. They're going to give him what he wants. And as far as I know, I don't know that he's interested in playing in New York. So the resources are probably best spent elsewhere at this point. But, I don't know. I mean, Robbie Ray's probably the more likely bet, or Carlos Rodon or something like that. And I'm even hearing that Luis Castillo and German Marquez are not on the market now, but that could change tomorrow. If somebody blows them away with an offer, they're automatically on the market. You know what I mean? Story, Freeman, Reynolds, and a couple of pitchers. Yeah, I hear about, sources are saying Freeman, they're haggling over the 6th year. He wants 6, they want 5. So at the end of the day, I think he'll probably wind up getting 6 from the Braves, or somebody will give him 6. But I think at the end of the day, I think it'll be with the Braves. So, yeah, Colorado has some young talent. Absolutely, man. Well, I don't know how accurate that is either, with they're not going after a star shortstop. Me personally, I wouldn't be fine if they didn't go after Seager or Correa. Hola, ¿cómo está? How are you? Good to see you on my running page too. I see I mean, personally, I think Simeon or Story are the better fits. I don't see, I mean, because you can essentially, and I've said this before, like you can get a Story and a Robbie Ray for the price of one Seager or the price of one Correa. And if you can do that, you get that value and fill up 2 holes instead of 1, I'm in favor of doing that. Is Correa's impact going to be, more than filling 2 or 3 holes? I doubt it. The Seagers, I doubt it. So at this point, they have a lot of holes to fill, and they need to fill them. So Jazz Chisholm's another an intriguing name. Ridings, I think they should keep him after what he did. They got to protect him from. Yeah, absolutely. Simmons, I don't know, man. I that's why I like Story. He's a bridge between Simmons and the bigger guys. So, and he's very versatile. He can play infield, other positions. He's athletic enough to play the outfield too. He may have even played the outfield before. So, I did. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm hearing the same thing. Oakland's trying to trade one guy in separate trades, another guy in separate trades and stuff. So, I'm hearing something similar. I'm also glad Verlander. The reason why I'm happy that Verlander didn't sign us is because of the qualifying offer. I would have been more okay with giving him the money without the qualifying offer attached to it, because now they don't have to give up a second-round draft pick and international signing money. So in the next move, I think the Yankees, it's got to be, maybe a DFA of a couple of guys to clear up roster spots, or a trade. I think they're going to make probably 2 significant trades this offseason. He tends to do that. I could see a trade with Arizona. I could see a trade with Pittsburgh. I could see, obviously a trade with Oakland. I just don't know to what extent. But I know, Cashman's generally not one to get fleeced very often. So he's pretty stingy with certain prospects. But just like the rest of the guys, they're going to ask for the moon, and they should, just like Cashman does when we do other trades too. So this stuff is going to be fluid, very fluid the next couple of days. It's going to be really interesting. Really, really interesting. I did hear Correa wants more than Lindor now, and let the Tigers blow him away with an offer and then let him go there and not win. So, fine. Trading Judge. Oh, yeah. Trading Judge will definitely give us value. They're going to haul back for Judge, but I think they have to offer him an extension first and let him turn it down. He's deserved the right to get an extension offer here at least. So, Reynolds he's my, Carlos, man. Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that. I want to grow. My next goal is 10,000 subs. Man. I want to thank you again for getting us over the 5,000 threshold. Dominguez, he was the guy I would consider in the move for Brian Reynolds, and probably Brian Reynolds only. Just hearing that he could potentially be like Juan Soto's not going anywhere. He's not available. So, Ketel Marte is intriguing. Like Arizona would be. I would go after Ketel Marte and probably their catcher and maybe Zach Gallen, a pitcher. So, and turn it into a blockbuster trade. That would be a huge trade. And that I can see more realistic than a Brian Reynolds trade. He won't cost us. He's not going to cost as much as Brian Reynolds could tell Marte. Olsen would be very nice. He is 5 years, 27. Rizzo's 22. Yep, exactly. The main reason why Nor the Great, I think they haven't done any is because of today's deadline. The qualifying offer deadline was 5 p.m. and I think they were waiting to see exactly the list of who accepted and who rejected the qualifying offers, because some of the people of interest, as far as I know from the Yankees, were given qualifying offers. So I think they were waiting to see before they decide to start making moves. Generally, they generally don't do stuff like that, or they generally don't extend players before they become free agents. I was surprised when they extended Hicks and Severino. Really surprised, but look at that. Neither one of them's worked out. So, and I could see why they're hesitant now too. So I expect them to be really busy. I think tomorrow will be a really busy day, and Friday, obviously. I think the deadline is Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, 11:59 p.m. But either way, they're going to be busy. I don't know about being overrated. Cole has been top 5 in the Cy Young 5 years in a row. So, and I do think he'll get a Cy Young here. I think he'll get a ring here too. He was second in the Cy Young this year, and this guy was maybe third last year. I think it was, or second also. I don't consider him overrated. I know there are certain people who do. Become a baseball writer, Colby. Go for it, man. Go for it. That's your passion, man. Go for it. Absolutely. By the way, guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit that like button. I want to get over 100 again if we can. I just want to get those likes up. I appreciate you. Forget you? Hold on. No, I'm not going to forget you. I appreciate the kind words. You guys are coming along this ride with me. And I'm going to show you, just like you guys show the channel love, I'm showing you love right back. 10,000 subs, I'll probably do a pretty nice, pretty big giveaway, I think, as a way of saying thank you. Maybe I'll do a couple of them. Something. It gives me a little bit of time to come up with something good. But it's my way of saying thank you. I definitely want to do some kind of giveaway again. Garcia, Davey, Abreu, Gittins, they could be, yeah, absolutely. But I think Garcia, Davey could probably be traded, maybe in a Matt Olson trade or something, but or to Arizona or to the National League or something. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were DFA'd either. I really wouldn't. Rizzo, I mean, he could come back if the Olsen thing doesn't. I mean, I would. That's why I was just cautioning people, like, don't get ahead of ourselves, because I had people saying the Olsen was acquired already, and he wasn't acquired. So, my dream trade would be for Brian Reynolds. My dream free agent right now. It's a good one. Well, if I had to go off this year, it would be probably Starling Marte, or maybe even Chris Bryant, because he's versatile. He plays infield and outfield. The big time guys like Juan Soto, those guys, they aren't available. Those guys would be my first pick, Soto and a couple other ones. So that's what I'd probably be seeing right now, Carlos. What about you? I see it, Michael. I think I see a DFA and a trade tomorrow. Maybe a couple of DFAs and a couple trades. I mean, something has to happen tomorrow. Otherwise, all their top prospects that are not protected on the 40-man are going to be exposed, and they'll lose all of them. And there's probably 4 or 5 or 6 guys that they need to get on this 40-man, or risk losing them to the Rule 5, and they will lose them to the Rule 5. So I think that so they have to be busy tomorrow and Friday. So they absolutely have to be. So I do see activity, yeah. And again, I think, Michael, I think they were waiting for this qualifying offer deadline. That's kind of essentially the last deadline now. That kind of slows things down. So that's in the past. It's over. And, now it's kind of a free-for-all. So nothing really holding players back now and stuff. So I definitely see a more busy Yankee team. And they're frustratingly patient at times too. But sometimes, patient for a good reason, and sometimes just patiently for not great reason. So, but they've always been that way, patient. And Cashman is always, he doesn't let his cards out. You can't really tell what the heck he's doing. So until it's actually done, he definitely doesn't show his cards. Stingy can't. Now Cashman's not giving up Jason Dominguez for Matt Olson. I don't see, or Volpe. I don't see that happening. If I could have any shortstop in the league, who would I have? Turner, Turner would probably be my guy. Trey Turner. He's a free agent next year, but I think the Dodgers are going to lock him and Scherzer up both. So I really do. Trevor Story. And you see, that's what I mean. Like, you can get Trevor Story and Starling Marte for less than it's going to cost for Correa. So that's what I mean. Like, you can, and that's, 2 for the price of 1, or sometimes 3 for the price of 1. I mean, it's kind of hard to say no. Again, we're not talking about A-Rod when he was coming here. When A-Rod was, A-Rod was a Hall of Fame talent when he was coming here. So, and none of these guys are Hall of Fame talents right now. So, I think Jason Dominguez is probably available in the trade for Brian Reynolds only. I can't think of anybody else. I really can't. I don't have any active collabs right now, GameCube in the works. I'm open to them. Nothing active in the books right now. Nothing in the books. Who's getting included for a possible? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how close or how far they are, Lorenzo. My guess is it would probably be Luke Voigt, Oswald Peraza, either Schmidt or Davey. I don't know how accurate Austin Wells is. I mean, I heard that too. Deadline is Friday, Johnny. So a combination of major league players and minor league players. The only way I see them including somebody like Gio or Gleyber Torres is if they get a pitcher back with Olsen. That's the only way I see it happening. I can't see it otherwise. I just don't know how close they are. The deadline is Friday, Johnny. Yes. So they have, less than 2 days. Nick Nelson, too. That's a good point, Lori. Yes, they can. That is a good point. Good one. I didn't remember that one. Yes, they can. How many good? Olsen's been pretty solid for quite a bit. And again, he's a good contact hitter with power. He's a good defensive first baseman, and he's under a pretty reasonable contract over the next 2 years. So he's a guy that could easily be extended. He's 27 years old. He'd be a perfect fit. And again, Oakland suits up perfectly with a trade because they don't pay their superstars when they get close to free agency. Jason Dominguez is, I think he's mostly untouchable. And again, the only guy I could see him being moved for would be Ryan Reynolds. So Brian Reynolds is essentially a finished product of Jason Dominguez. Dominguez is a very high prospect and stuff, but right now he's a prospect. We don't know if he's going to be, the real deal as he moves up the system. So and Brian Reynolds is what I hope Jason Dominguez turns into. I mean, I'm not anointing him or crowning him the next Mike Trout yet or Mickey Mantle or anything like that. That's way too premature. Brian Reynolds is representative of a pretty, an elite center fielder who checks off a boatload of boxes for the Yankees. A boatload of boxes. So, but then again, if you can get Brian Reynolds without giving up Dominguez, I mean, more power to Cashman, baby. More power to Cashman. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, Ty, I'm with you. I could see Fi being dumped. I think a combination of dumps and trades. So they can if they can give value. I think Cashman will try to pack trades up, obviously, so they get some value back for some of these guys. And the only way I see a DFA happening is if they have zero trade value. So that's the only way I see it. But I think Cashman's going to try and get his value as much, as everywhere possible. He always does. Iglesias has to want years, right? The way he turns down the money unless he wants years. Racel Iglesias, well, he turned down the qualifying offer. So he obviously is going to get, he pretty much knew he wasn't going to get 18.4. Like, he's probably going to get 3 or 4 years at probably 15 per, 45 to 60 million. That'd be my guess at this point, which is a hell of a lot more than 18.4. There's a number of teams who I think will be aggressive with Iglesias, the Phillies being one of them. And maybe even the Mariners and some other teams. I mean, there's going to be some teams that are on the cusp that, going to want a guy like that. And he's as good as it gets in terms of, relief. So he's going to get paid, Racel Iglesias. No doubt about it. The Berrios extension, pitchers are going to get paid. Like, Eduardo Rodriguez, 77 million to the Tigers. That was an underrated move, but solid. They got better there. And, who else? Well, Berrios extension, 131 for 7 years. He's also young. He's 27 or 28. So that was a good value. That was a good value trade right there too. And I could see it happen. A 3-team trade: Yankees, Cubs, and Oakland. Give me the details, Michael. Let's have it. Am I happy? I'm happy, yes, because he had a qualifying offer attached to him. If he did not, then I would have been a little bit more open to it. But when he had a qualifying offer attached to him, that means they were going to have to pay him $25 million a year plus give up a second-round draft pick and international signing money. That's too rich for me. So way too rich. It was just too steep of a price. So I'm glad they didn't do it. My guess is they're going to go after probably Robbie Ray or Rodon or try to trade for a pitcher or both or something like that. With like Marcus Stroman's kind of Twitter battle with everybody else. I don't know if it's in fun or not or whatnot, but my guess is he's probably not going to be an option for the Yankees, but crazy things have happened. I never thought they were going to trade for Jeff Weaver either, but they did, or Jack McDowell, but they did. So you never know with these guys. Yeah, Simeon to me and Story are the two best options. And if you saw my video earlier, I went over like the options, and they have a more balanced statistical profile than Correa and Story, and the Correa and Seager doing. They're going to cost half the price. So, and again, freeing up money for them to get pitching, for them to get relieving in other areas. So that's the way I see it. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, well, I'm trying to stick there. The comments go pretty fast, so if I don't get you, we'll just repeat your comment if you really want me to see it. So my apologies if I don't see you, but they scroll pretty fast, and it's hard for me to keep up with everybody at the same time. So I scroll back when I can too. So don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring anybody intentionally. So that I won't. That I won't do. Yan Gomes, I'm hearing too. Yeah, I mean, G-Man, I think they will overpay for Olsen, but that's the type of guy you overpay for, in my opinion. And I hope Cashman pulls out at the end of the day gets. I think he'll overpay, but I hope he gets him and a pitcher. I really do. So, which pitcher I don't know. There are three guys they can get. I mean, you got Bassett, you got Montez, you got Manea. Any one of those guys would be solid with Olsen as a return. And man, they better protect Ridings, Lori. You're right about that. I would protect him. At this point, I would not bring Andrew Miller back on a 1 year. I wouldn't. At this point, yeah, he's still pretty tough on lefties, but at this point, I would not. My wish list is Brian Reynolds, Olsen, Story, and a good catcher. That to me would be a nice, a really huge offseason. That would be a monster. Castillo to Yankees Raven would be nice. There was some stuff put out earlier that he's off the market now. But again, if somebody gives him an offer that's, Michael Corleone, you give him an offer you can't refuse, then, they'll give him up. They'll give him up. I don't know the status of Ridings' injury. I knew he was injured, but I have heard he'll be back as well. So I'm confident. He's not a guy I would let exposed to the Rule 5. So he's a guy I would keep. And if they're going to keep other guys that are hurt, you keep Ridings too. So chat to slow mode in my settings. I have no idea how to do that. Robbie Ray, I think, is going to cost about $150. Rodon, I think, is going to cost $100 or less. And yeah, that's what I think. Again, I think the Yankees are going to be busy. They're going to make some moves the next day or two. I think it'll be a combination of DFAs and trades before any big signing. But I think there's going to be a lot of activity, particularly before December 2nd. That's when the potential lockout happens or begins. And the way that things are trending right now, it sounds as if they're going to have some kind of lockout. So it sounds like they're really, really far away. Ron, that's funny, man. Calling Chapman for Olsen. That is funny, dude. Yeah, man. Montez would be wonderful. Montez and Olsen would be wonderful. I see some of them, John, signing before. I could see Simeon signing because he's not going to be one of those 300 guys. Plus, he's a Scott Boras client, so Boras tends to take his big fish deep into the offseason. Some of his other guys, they strike pretty quickly. So I could see Simeon signing pretty quickly. I could see that, but again, it's all open now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, yeah. What else we got here? Yeah, I don't have an issue with not signing Brown. Like I said, Fizz was my main thing was that he came with a qualifying offer, and that at that point I kind of cut it off the signing Verlander thing. So because of the qualifying offer, and that would have been too much to give up. It really would have. No. Dude, Gardy was great here for 14 years. He played with his heart, and he was durable. He hustled. He was representative of the type of Yankees that they still need. And You know, he'll be missed. He'll definitely be missed. I hope they give him a Brett Gardner day and, you know, honor him appropriately. I really do. And, you know, he'll get his due at one way or another. That they'd be crazy to not give him his due. Why would they give us Reynolds? I mean, my logic behind that, Davey, is if they want to contend anytime soon, they need to get a package back for a guy like Reynolds because they can build around Brian Hayes, who's younger than Reynolds, and get, you know, a boatload of capital back in return for Brian Reynolds. So that's, I mean, they're multiple positions away, multiple pieces away from contending. So Reynolds, at this point, you're going to spend his next 4, you know, team controllable years not contending, just having him and Brian Hayes like being superstars, but the team doing nothing. So at that point, you have to take advantage of your, you know, your diamonds, and then you got to trade them for a whole bunch of pieces of gold. So, and Brian Reynolds is one of the guys who can extract one of the biggest packages in return in Major League. So that's my logic. But they could have a completely different mentality. Pittsburgh. Ty, yeah, I mean, I could see Odor being a DFA candidate too because the Yankees are only on the hook for the league minimum. Texas is paying $14 million, so would I be interested in Kershaw and a Kluber type? Baby Jim, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I just my fear is that he would get lit up in the American League. Lit up. That'd be my fear. I mean, if he came here and he pitched pretty well, I'd be happy. But he's had some injury stuff recently too, so that's my other fear. And he's also 34 or something like that. So you know, he's a Hall of Famer right now. If they got him, you know, I'd be fine as long as he stayed healthy. So, and he's finally learned how to pitch well in the postseason. So can't complain there. I don't think they're going to release Ridings or Abreu. I think that will be, they can get value for both of them, but I don't see, I don't see, you know, Ridings being out for, you know, years and years and years and years. He's a guy, they know what he has. They'll keep him around just to let him rehab and recover and come back. So, and at that point, then they could move on from him if it doesn't work out. But he's a guy to me that I would keep around. Sanchez and Torres for Olsen. I mean, I would do that. Yeah. No doubt about it. The Yankees need to get another catcher one way or another. The Yanks sign Marte, they better not juice again. Yeah, well, 100% on that, Kobe. 100%, man. None of that, no more this juicing stuff. So, how bad would it be to move Sanchez to first if we don't get any first baseman? Well, I think they would move. I think they would have DJ at first before that would happen. That'd be my opinion. If they let Voit and Rizzo go, then I see DJ being the first baseman before Sanchez. Not ideal, but I think it would be more ideal than Sanchez there. But yeah, I'd like to get him off the catcher position. That's why I think if there's a National League adopts the DH, he could be a good candidate to be traded to a National League team and just be DH. You know, because we can't be the DH here. Our DH position's already clogged up. What do we do if we don't get Starling Marte? Well, they're probably going to wind up having to play Aaron Hicks, but I still think they need to bring in another outfielder one way or another. Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, somebody who can be, you know, of good type of service here, who would be a valuable player. So they got rid of 3 speedy outfielders with range. They need to replace it with something. They're low on the outfield depth chart now. I mean, aside from, you know, you got Aaron Hicks, but we don't know what he's going to be like, and he's looking to play winter ball. So. But aside from him, we got Estevan Florial. Who else do we have? Trey Ambergy, but they gave him a cup of coffee. I don't know if he's even an option for them. So I don't know. They have to bring in somebody for the outfield. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, if the Yankees decide to go with Simmons for shortstop, then that tells me they're going to invest heavily elsewhere. They'll be aggressive in center field and first base. I would agree with that. I mean, he's an elite defender, but he's always left something to be desired with the bat. So. And at that point, I think the Yankees need to be more aggressive. But I see them shooting higher than Andrelton Simmons. But he's been in rumors with the Yankees so many years, though. I don't know. You know, it's we'll see. Yan Gomes, yeah. I mean, Well, this is the year. I mean, Ola and Jackson, like this is the year that the Yankees have to capitalize because it's the most talented free agent class in years, and they'll be more talented the next couple. And the Yankees have the resources; they've been given the green light to go over the threshold, so they have to do it now. Otherwise, they're going to be in a position again that's not an enviable one. And so this is the time to strike. I've done a video recently about how their payroll drops over like $140 million over the next 5 years. So now's the time to load up on guys and offset them more with young prospects and the Volpes and the Dominguezes and these guys. You offset the expensive guys with good role players and good prospects. So then you have a balanced kind of roster. But that to me is a well balanced way of doing it. But the Yankees obviously operate a little bit differently. So if I'm Oakland, I would want Garcia, Severino, and Torres. Sanchez. If they want Garcia, Severino, and Torres, then I want Sean Murphy back with Matt Olson. It's the only way you're getting all three of those guys. Or Severino, Torres, the only way. If I were GM, but I'm not. Yeah, DJ playing hurt. I mean, at the end of the day, I think his best position is second base, but he'd probably be the option if they moved on from Voit and Rizzo and didn't bring in Olson. So, because they already have him on the roster, and then they can plug in somebody. If they don't move Torres, he's already at second, and then they only have to really go aggressive at shortstop. So, he's not my first or second or even third choice for first base, but it could happen. DJ on the White Sox, sweet. That would suck. Chapman does have probably like a partial no trade now. He's only got 1 more year left. Olsen, Marte, Seager, Robbie Ray, and Rodon will be must-haves. I mean, cruise control, that would be a monster offseason. It really, really would. It really, really would. Take a look and see if anything's happened. By the way, Robbie Ray, Cy Young Award winner in the American League, and Corbin Burns in the National League. Garrett Cole was runner-up, as expected. So congratulations to those guys. And Billy Bean, yeah, I mean, like the team with the Yankees, I mean, the A's, they turn around a lot of guys. Like, we sent, James Caprillion over there and some other guys, and he turned out pretty well over there. He wasn't doing things over here. So if we can get guys back that we want, obviously it's going to cost the Yankees. They're going to have to give up some pieces. So it's the only way you're going to get guys like Matt Olson and some of these other studs. So if we got Olson and Reynolds, I would go for Story 100%. Oh, God, yeah. Got Olson and Reynolds alone. That'd be a dream off season. Hicks, yeah, I mean, I think it's time to move on from Hicks. I really do. I mean, he's just tried to turn into a Hulk. It didn't work. He went from an athletic, dynamic outfielder to like a slow, injury-prone one. And, I don't know why he decided he wanted to look like Barry Bonds, but it just changed his whole playing profile. And he got hurt a lot. So, I think there's a low chance Jose Ramirez gets moved. I mean, if he is available, the Yankees have to go after him. They'd be nuts not to. What do you think would have to be added on to Voit and Urshela if we were to trade for Olsen and Chapman? Probably Luis Medina and probably Oswald Peraza for Olsen and Chapman. Probably those two at least, and maybe another prospect. That's what I would do. Overall left-handed first baseman. Tino was lefty, but he threw righty. This guy's lefty, and everything. I hear what you're saying, Butters. I mean, Soler is definitely not my first pick. I mean, Marte, is my first free agent pick. And again, he doesn't come with a qualifying offer, so you can have him just for cash. It's not going to cost anything else. So, I don't know, maybe GameCube, or at some point I will. I can handle it right now. I mean, if anybody's like being stupid on the channel, I can handle that. But at some point, probably when I'm at 10 or something like that, for paid moderators, I need to make some more money on the channel first before I pay people to do that stuff. No, I mean, I get it. I get it, Perry. I mean, he had a good year. Well, knowing how shows he's willing to spend. Well, yes, I mean, until Howell and Cashman actually back up their words, Perry, I'm not going to believe anything. But Gerald, I get what you're saying about Robbie Ray's 167, but he had a monster year. He really did. He played Cy Young, he won the Cy Young at the perfect time. So I think had Gerrit Cole not gotten hurt, he kept his momentum, then he would have definitely won a Cy Young, and he would have deserved it. Charlie Morton he already re-upped with Atlanta Raven for 2022. Before the season was over, he re-upped with them. And after he broke his leg too in a game, that guy's crazy. That's a gamer right there. Do I know a sign Rousseau and they get Olsen? What do you mean, Ron? Not sure I get it. Marte, not Macy's. No, I get you, Nick Talks. Marte. Marte's a very appealing option, really appealing option. And like Buxton would be appealing too, but he has way too many freaking injuries. But like he's got one more year too, so I just don't want to see the Yankees in the same position again next year. Have to scramble in a less talented class. So this is the time for the Yankees to be aggressive and really get some guys who are going to be here for several years. Dark horse free agent targets. Chris Taylor, excuse me. Eddie Rosario. Those types of guys. My dark horse guys. Andrew Chafin for the bullpen. Well, exactly. I go for Brian Reynolds, but at the end of the day, if you can get Ketel Marte, Gerald, then you got it. Again, I think Cashman's probably going to look to expand the trades and not only like you go for a team that like has a center fielder and a pitcher, like the Arizona, like a Pittsburgh, like teams like that, or center fielder and a catcher, or from Arizona if you get Zach Gallen in their catcher, things like that. I think Cashman's probably going to go for multiple player trades. I think it would be a good idea to do it. So because there are some teams that I think he can get multiple players from. So I could see that happening. As far as I know, Morton only signed for 2022. As far as I know. So, Bronx Talk. Shout out to Bronx Talk, man. You want to start your own podcast? That's awesome, man. Give us some insight about your podcast, man. Bronx Talk, that's awesome. I appreciate that you got some inspiration from me, and if I can help you guys, let me know. But shout out to Bronx Talk. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at their podcast. What's the name of the podcast? Is it out yet? Give us some details. Give us some details. Yeah, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's about to get paid. He's about to get paid. So, home and away splits for Story, not really, because he's going to be surrounded by a much better lineup here. He'll have a lot less pressure. Won't have to be the guy here, Ryan. So that don't really concern me. I think he'll be fine. He's a good combination. His offense is solid, and he's an elite defender at shortstop, and he's athletic enough to play multiple positions. He won't clog up Volpe. He won't clog up Peraza, any of these guys. So he's a good fit for the Yankees, I think, and better than he is with the Rockies. I don't think he was the right fit there. He needed to leave the Rockies. Yeah, it would suck to lose Peraza. And with Volpe, as long as Volpe keeps developing with Trey Sweeney, even Oswaldo Cabrera, they have options. They're deep in the shortstop. They're deep up the middle in terms of prospect wise. So they can afford to move a Peraza, who's the most major league ready of all of them. He'll be the most valuable piece right now in a trade. No, I don't think we gave away too many for Joey Gallo. I think Gallo's going to be fine next year. I really do. They didn't give up any top 10 prospects for Gallo, so. I could see Seager's numbers going up in Yankee Stadium. My worry is that he's going to get hurt a lot. And we won't be able to take advantage of the left-handed bat if he's hurt a lot. So, but again, if he stays healthy, that would be fantastic. Eddie Rosario, Rizzo, Baez. I don't think they should be paying him $300 million either. So that would be crazy. Anthony Russo. Anthony Russo. Who are you talking about, Ron? Anthony Russo. A replacement for Sanchez is absolutely dire. After this year, he's a free agent. Like, they have no obvious replacements for him in the farm. And that's what I've been saying. Like, trade for some catchers. Like, I mentioned some other guys, MJ Melendez, some of these other top prospects, some other teams. So, I think they need to make some kind of trade for a high-end catching prospect this offseason. Even if they have to attach, other players or prospects to something, then it's a must, in my opinion. It's an absolute must. So that's what I would do. But they need a catcher here. They really, really do. Unfortunately, I don't think Soto's going to be moved, Mo, anytime soon, at least. So, but we'll see. Pryor, Woodruff, or Pryor? Maybe. Burns just won the Cy Young, so I doubt he's going to go anywhere. But maybe one of those other guys is going to cost. I mean, that's for sure. That's for sure. I don't see them getting Soto without Volpe. I don't think there's a chance in the world. And even Dominguez and Volpe is not going to be enough for Soto. And I don't think Soto's going to be available anytime soon. They're going to build around him. So they just gave up a whole bunch of guys to clear money. So I don't think they're going to build around him. Jack C., thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. What's he saying? Yankees need a true first base to go with Cole. A 1B, 100%. A true 1B. Absolutely, dude. A co-ace, no doubt about it. Someone who is just as reliable. That's what I mean. Like, Robbie Ray can take the pressure off of Cole, or somebody durable, like even Marcus Stroman. He's known for being durable, man. Like, Scherzer would be great, but like, if you can get Scherzer, that would be, outer worldly. But I think if you can get a Robbie Ray, he'd be worth the risk. Rodon, probably worth it too. Someone like Stroman or a Luis Castillo, somebody who can help take the pressure off of Cole and kind of button the gap up from him to, the rest of the rotation. They need two starters, in my opinion. So they really do. Oh, Rizzo, yeah. I think Rizzo's the plan B after Olsen, I think. If Olsen doesn't happen, then I can see them going quickly after Rizzo. That'd be my guess. But I think Olsen's is, plan the first option right now. Mike Dura, thanks so much, man, for the dono and the super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you both. Mike and Jack, you guys are awesome. They definitely need that 1B, man. Who Jack C, who's your 1B? Who do you think would be a good 1B? Verlander's not an option. I think they're going to look and go after Ray or Carlos Rodon. Rodon does not come with a qualifying offer. Ray does. So, and there's some other guys out there too. Kevin Gausman from the Giants does not come with a qualifying offer. He played on one last year. So did Marcus Stroman. So they can't be given a second qualifying offer. So Stroman's durable, but the vibe around, I don't know, Yankee world is he doesn't want to come here, doesn't want anything to do with the Yankees because he's burned that they didn't trade for him. But I don't know how accurate that is. Like, if they offer him enough money generally talks. So, and so I could still see him coming until he says no, until he signs somewhere else. I could see him coming. Can the Yankees sign Aaron Judge for an extension? They can. They should. They should at the very least offer him one. And if he says no, you trade him. That's it. You get a haul back for him. Cattell is honestly, Mo, I would consider Cattell. Like, you can even add Gleyber Torres to a trade like that for Cattell, and play Cattell Marte at second base. He plays infield and outfield. It'll preserve his legs a little bit. And he's a better contact hitter than Gleyber Torres is. So I could still see trade scenarios where they get him. And again, without having to use him in center field. You don't have to. Wilson Contreras is an upgrade over Gary Sanchez, so I would definitely consider him. If you can do a swap, I would do it. He's much better at handling a starting rotation than Sanchez is. We need that type of guy. Signing Marte, putting him in left, use Gallo in a huge package for Reynolds. there's any way they can get Reynolds for center and Marte and left, I mean, that would be a pretty epic outfield. Pretty epic outfield. I'll tell you that much. I'm interested to see what they do with Gallo. I'm really interested to see what they do. I think they're going to keep him, but and if he plays well, then you could trade him at the deadline or offer him a qualifying offer next year. He's still going to be young. He's going to be 28, and they can get, at the very least, if they don't re-sign him, someone else does. If he plays well, offer Keo, then they'll get a high draft pick. So I can see them extracting more value out of him than they gave for him if he plays well, and I think he will with a better start in spring training and having a full year with the team. I see him playing well. He won't be thrown to the wolves now like he was in the summertime. Expect him to just be, adapt and deal with it. Well, I'm with you, Jack C. I mean, Luis Castillo would be a great guy. Robbie Ray would be a good fit too. They have ace. I mean, they've shown, obviously, Robbie Ray's Cy Young Award, so he's an ace this year. And you put him in here, you're also taking him away from Toronto, which would be an ideal thing. You're taking him away from a division rival. And with Boston already losing and Juan Rodriguez to the Tigers, then, it gives you a leg up on Boston. It gives you a leg up on Toronto. So, and would be a good move for them. And he's worth the risk. So, and if you're going to give somebody that much money, you give it to a guy that just won the Cy Young Award, not somebody who's 39. Because even if he gets a 6-year deal, 3 years are going to pass beyond that. And he's still not going to be Verlander's age. So, he's like 10 years younger than Verlander. So that's the type of guy you give a big money deal to. So my concern is the Yankees won't do too much. But at the end of the day, I think they'll be better this offseason. And I do think his price just went up winning the Cy Young. Now that it's confirmed, I thought it was going to go up before already because it was personally, I thought it was inevitable that he was going to win. So I think he was going to be expensive either way. So I could see him getting 6 years, $150. I could see that. So, if Stroman doesn't come, I have no problem with that. Let him go. Let him go back to the Mets whatever. I don't care. But again, I would rather him go to the Mets than go to the Blue Jays. But so that's my other concern is the Blue Jays might go after Ray and Stroman. You never know. So that's why I think striking on a pitcher sooner than later, or earlier than later, would be a good idea for the Yankees. Don't take some of these potential guys away from the teams that you're competing against that you want to beat. So Scherzer is definitely the best. I mean, it would probably cost him 2 years, $80 million for him to even consider coming here. I could see the Dodgers giving him 2 years with a third-year option, though. I could see that. And if the Yankees can somehow pry Olsen and Sean Murphy, then I would take on another contract just for that reason. I got another dono here. I'll get to that in 1 second. Gausman, I think, is a really a good option here. Gausman, again, he's frontline pitcher now. He's durable. He throws innings, and again, he doesn't come with a qualifying offer. He's going to cost money. He won't cost as much as Ray, but he's another guy to consider. So 6 to 7 years would be my max Laurie for Judge. 6 years would be ideal. My fear is I think he's going to get an 8 or 9 or 10-year deal from somebody, and he's going to run with that, which is why I think the Yankees need to make this offer now and, let him decide. And if he rejects it, then you go. Jeff J., thank you so much for that super chat and a dono, man. Joined late. Well, I'm glad you're here, man. And thank you again. Thoughts on getting Olsen, Ray, Castillo? Keep the hot stove boil. It's going to get hot, baby. We're going to keep this rolling, man. We're going to definitely keep this rolling. If they got Olsen, Ray, and Castillo, I would be ecstatic. I've said this for, we got a bunch of people in here. I'm trying to get the likes up to, now we're over 100. I want to try to get them up to 150 if we can. So we had a couple of 200 like videos recently. So if you haven't done it, please do so. It's greatly appreciated, man. But those guys would be phenomenal. I mean, I've always said they need 2 starters, and those would be great 2 starters. Torrance for catcher, I've seen that too. Judge to the D-backs for Marte. They could get back more than Marte. That's when I would go for Marte and Zach Gallen or somebody like that. Maybe their catcher too. Like Judge can get a haul back. If you're going to trade him, get a haul of either super high-end prospects or a player like a Ketel Marte and then somebody else. So, well, Bronx Talks is the podcast. We're both in high school and post podcasts right on YouTube. Let me know if you would ever want to do something together. And if so, how to contact you. Yeah, just hit me up here. Or I have an Instagram page, Diehard Yankee Fan 447. For those of you who don't know, I'm on there as well, and I promote the channel there too. So feel free to reach out to me there, and we'll see if we can put something together. Mike Dara, thank you again, bro. I appreciate you. Any chance Shane Bieber is available? I don't know, but if there's any way they can get him and try to package him with Ramirez, I mean that would be another epic blockbuster trade. But I see the Indians maybe getting somebody like a Starling Marte to add. They had a surprisingly solid season. I think in a rebuild, it's going a little bit quicker than people think. So I could see them adding to what they have instead of trading. But Shane Bieber would be nice too, Mike. It would be nice. Yeah, I still think I'm of the opinion you need to add 2 starters. So one way or another, 2 guys would be ideal here. But Mike, thank you again, man. I appreciate you. Judge wants a 10-year. I would not. Yeah, I mean, he said he wants to spend the next 10 years for the Yankees. So that to me also signals as he wants a long-term deal, and he'll likely get it from somebody. And it's just, that's the thing. Like, he'll be a $300 million guy most likely. And that's way too much at 31 years old from the Yankees. If Bassett comes to the Yankees with Olsen, I'd be very happy. Castillo in India, I don't know. India just won Rookie of the Year. I could see Castillo and Winker from the Reds more than I could see Castillo in India. They're going to build around India, but a blockbuster with the Reds might be nice too. There's teams that he can make blockbuster trades with. They have the pieces to get some serious guys. It's just the point of them whether they're actually willing to part with some of these guys. And Cashman is not known to do that very often. So Jacob Stallings would be another appealing option. Yeah, he'd be another one. Like, there are guys out there, Damian. Like, there are guys who they can get or gettable. Like Salvador Perez, I don't think there's a chance in hell, but they have a prospect under him who's blocked by Perez that may be a gettable guy. So, those are the guys. MJ Melendez, I'd be going after a high-end catching prospect one way or another. If you'd have to give up something good in return, I would do it. So, Judge is great, but he's a 230 hitter in the postseason. There's still some things that I have reservations about. My biggest reservation is giving him a 10-year deal at 31 years old. I'm not a fan of giving anyone a 10-year deal at 31. Jack C, thank you again, man. I appreciate you, brother. Please don't change. Don't be like the guy whose name rhymes with Feet them and Eddie. I get. I was first to say this would happen. Stay humble, man. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I'm keeping the ego out of this. It has no place in this. This is our thing. This isn't only my thing, and I don't like to only respond to people who give super chats and donos. I want you all to feel like you're part of the family here, part of the mafia. So that's why I like to engage with all of you, because you all have great ideas, and we might not always agree on stuff, but you all have great ideas, and your ideas matter. And to me, it's what helps make the channel better. So I'm not like, he might not be a fan of me. I don't even know if he knows I exist, but like, we all have different perspectives. We run our channels differently, but to me, I like to get, and like from the start, I like to get people engaged and involved and feel like they're part of something here. So I appreciate you all. So, but I hear what you're saying, man. I'm just not into name calling people and saying that type of stuff on my channel. Like, somebody can disagree, and I have no hesitation blocking, but I'm not going to start doing that, like being nasty to people and stuff like that. And call. That's just not me. So it's not me. And I mean, I don't do that type of stuff. And then, like, quite honestly, if people are going to be, I'm not saying he is, but like other people want to be YouTube trolls or YouTube tough people, like, come on. One, there's no place for it on any channel, and particularly mine, but like, I mean, that's the type of stuff. If you're going to do something like that, go to the person's face and say it. Like, don't do it on the screen. Don't do it behind the screen. Like, I'm not going to take you credible, man, or serious. Like, but again, I like to have fun here. I want you guys and gals to have fun too. So, but Jax, I appreciate that. And I know what you're saying, man. Again, I don't know if he knows that I exist at all. So, but he does his thing there. He does his thing. He gets a lot of intel out and a lot of stuff. So I see, I give him credit. I give him credit. Just like I give a lot, a lot of other folks credit. They all have their fans and their following, and I'm appreciative of mine. I mean, I'd love to beat him at 10,000. So that's my that's my next goal. I want to get there as quickly as possible if I can. So Chad Green, Garrett Cole ain't going anywhere, Ron. You're crazy, dude. They're not gonna. The A's aren't even gonna pay Olsen. You think they're gonna pay Cole? Yeah, 7 years is my cutoff, absolute cutoff for Judge. I mean, I would love to get him at 6 years for like 210, which is 35 a year. But my guess is if he's going to stay with the Yankees, he's going to want to be the highest paid guy. And Cole makes 36. He's going to want to make more than that. That's my guess. In which case, if you give him 6 years, that's going to be what? 222. So for 6 years, I mean, fine. But anything beyond that, I worry about it. So, and this is the thing, Drew, like why would I unload Stanton, who's got much better postseason stats than Judge, and pay twice as much for Judge? That's my, that's one of my reservations about this. Stanton is money in the postseason, money. And so I personally would keep him. Again, I would love to have both, but I wouldn't give Stanton a 10-year deal at 31 either. So it's like I wouldn't give Judge a 10-year deal at 31. If he gets it, I hope he stays healthy. If he's here, I hope he stays healthy. But there's no guarantee with that, man. I just, my fear is it's going to turn into an Ellsbury. Like Ellsbury got a 7-year deal here, and I think he played 2.5 or 3 years, and he didn't do anything for 4. He was just eating salary. So it's like, tough. Come on. That's my biggest fear. My biggest fear. We're giving a big deal like that. So, Carl, Mafia, baby. Yes, 161 Mafia. This is us, man. This is the 161 Mafia in this house. That's right. Lori C. Did I watch any Yankee games to see all the runners he left on base? National anthem kneeler? What does that mean? Kneeler. When he knelt during the national anthem, so what? Yeah. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with people standing, no problem with people kneeling. So, freedom of speech for everybody. So, whatever he's protesting is whatever he's protesting. So, but I don't remember him. And Ernie, are you talking about Judge, or who are you talking about with the kneeling? Stanton? Who are you talking about? But I'm cool with it either way. If you can get Judge for 5 years, $175, $35 a year, I'm all over that, Rob. Yesterday, I'll sign that, man. Hell yeah, I'd sign that. No doubt about it, man. Judge is an elite defender. I'll give him that. Lori, he is an elite defender. He actually, I think he got robbed, but for the Gold Glove this year, I think he should have won the Gold Glove. So that stinks. Jack, I appreciate that, man. I hope. I mean, I'd like to get the 10,000 subs by my birthday in June. That's my, my kind of back of the line goal. I would love to get that. So he just got there. He just got the 6,000, Jack, I think today or yesterday. So I mean, good for him. But I get what you're saying, Jack. I get what you're saying. Like, I personally like to keep it real here, and you know that now. And I don't like to get ahead of myself with stuff. So, and that's, I'd rather report stuff that actually breaks and stuff like that. I mean, and if he has sources, great. And if he's accurate, he's accurate. That's all good. It's all good. But I'm gonna do my thing here, and I appreciate that you're part of it, Jack. I really do. So thank you again as always, bro. Judge is the kneeler. Okay, so what's the issue with that, Ernie? I'm just curious. What's the problem with it? Trash the Yankees on the social. Was he trashing the Yankees, or was he trashing Yankee fan trollers? I'm wondering what he's definitely outspoken. So, Jack C, Gemini, baby, June 19th. Same birthday as Lou Gehrig, Iron Horse, baby. Yeah. Right. My fellow Gemini, we run the world, bro. Yeah, that's the thing, too. Miami does pay a chunk of his salary, so they're paying down a little bit. And he's been he's been a steal here for the Yankees, Stanton. So I personally would not get rid of him. 6 years to 286. Oof. That's a lot of money. My God, that's 40 something per year. Ooh, Ron, that's a beast contract. But again, it's not 300 million. But I mean, I don't know if they're going to pay that much. 6 years, 240. I could see that's 40 per year. 6 years, 286 is like that's insanity. My God, it's 44 and change. Ooh, yeah, 44.3 million. Ooh, that's money, dude. That's mad money. Cashman's going to go back to last year's tier and signing a big free agent. I don't think he's going to sign Correa or Seager. I could see Story or Simeon coming here, more than the other guys at this point in terms of value and cost. But yeah, imagine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear you, Lori. Yeah, I mean, nothing on Roto World any later in the Berlin. Yeah, I mean, nothing yet. I mean, like, I generally don't break news until it's been corroborated by multiple sources. And I like to, Lorenzo, Gemini, baby, June 17th. I'd rather it be confirmed by MLB or something like that, or ESPN or something, very credible before I even go on that play. I'll say what's going on. I give the updates, but like, I'm not going to report something that hasn't happened yet. I'm not breaking news and saying that they're interested. The Yankees are in on everybody, and everybody knows that. So I'm not going to come do a video on stuff that everybody knows is obvious. So I don't see the point in that. I want to bring value to the videos that I put out. So, do I care about Correa's comments on Jeter? Drew, personally, not real. Don't be sorry, man. I did a video on that too, but I think he put his foot in his mouth. I mean, he's got better range than Jeter did, but Jeter was always at the right spot at the right time. Okay, so you can criticize Jeter's 5 Gold Gloves. Well, you know what you can't criticize? His 5 rings. He has 5. Okay, 5 rings, and he's a first ballot near unanimous Hall of Famer. So Correa, I would personally dude, he didn't have much credibility. You can criticize his defense a little bit, but 5 Gold Gloves is 5 Gold Gloves, okay? 5 rings is 5 rings. He's the only Yankee in history with 3,000 hits. So, I don't bring too much into what Correa is saying. I think he's maybe trolling Yankees to try to get him to drop the price and go with Boston. Hot stove news, I don't see anything yet. Let me look on here too. Let me look on here. Nothing yet, guys and gals. Nothing. I mean, believe me, I would love to break news right now. If something came out, man, I really would. But that's my take on Correa. Drew, what's your take on him? And Yankee fan, sorry, I don't have anything to report yet, man. 2020, I apologize. Lori's a Gemini too. I love this. When's your birthday, Lori, if I can ask? I'm June 19th. Gemini's, give me that Gemini power up in here, man. Gemini power, baby. I love it. Judge doesn't get caught up with the political climate. You may be speaking of Hicks, who was vocal during the series. And yeah, people are entitled to kneel, whatever. If they want to, if they're protesting something that's justified, like police brutality, let them. It's just let them. They're not making, they're not making any controversy. People are going to get outraged at that just for the sake of being. Why are you outraged at somebody kneeling? My God, it's really not the end of the world, in my opinion, but it's a peaceful protest. So, yeah, Verlander, Michael, that's a lot of money for a 39-year-old, plus especially coming off Tommy John, and although he's going back to the Astros, so they're not paying the cost of a qualifying offer either. So, but $25 million would have been nuts. Apparently, the rumor is the Yankees offered him 2 years for a little under 40 total. So, but still a little bit more than the qualifying offer of 18.4. But obviously, he went back to Houston. He felt some loyalty, and the rumor that he wanted to play on the East Coast with a team that trained in Florida. That's complete horseshit because he went to Houston. So that's what I mean. Like speculation that turned out to be bullcrap. So, Judge 5 years for 285. That's $57 million per year, Ron. That's insanity. That would be nuts. Seager just signed with the Dodgers. Come on, now we're goofing here, right? I don't see anything on any of that right now. So, you joshing us here? Are you joshing us? I don't see nothing reporting on that. Let's go to nah. You guys are just trying to get us all riled up here, man. I don't see anything on Seager and the Dodgers. Come on. Judge assigned. Now you guys are being silly. William, active duty Army. Appreciate your service, William. Cheers to you. Exactly. You guys are the ones that fight for everybody's right to do these things. So we appreciate you. I actually come from a military family too. Marines, have Army, have a Navy SEAL in my family. So Navy Master Chief, I meant. And so I got a lot of military in the family. So I appreciate your service, man. It's your boy. What's up, brother? Super chat, Dono. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Love the channel. What's your take on the recent news on the Yankees making moves this offseason? Hal and Cash seems suspect, but also maybe playing it smart. Yankees have multiple ways. So I'm with you 100% on multiple ways to go. I think the Yankees were exercising a lot of patience. I think they were waiting until tonight for the qualifying offer deadline so they knew exactly who was accepting and who was declining. Brandon Belt from the Giants was the only person to accept the qualifying offer. Everybody else declined because now I think it helps their calculus as to, okay, these guys are available, these guys are not. And at the end of the day, how many players are we willing to sign that are attached to qualifying offers now and whatnot. So I think there's a combination of things. I think they were waiting for this deadline because now there's no more deadlines to anything aside from the deadline to protect players from the Rule 5. But in terms of deadlines of players that they could acquire that were tied to something, that's over now. So now it's free for all for everybody. They know exactly who they would have to give draft picks and international prospect money to. So I do think they were waiting for this. And I expect a flurry of activity before Friday because they're going to have to protect at least, I'm guessing, between 4, 5, and 6 guys from the Rule 5 draft. So they have to make moves in order to do that. So I think it's going to be a combination of trades, DFAing people, and some other moves as well. So a whole bunch of, but that's I appreciate your support, and I makes me happy to hear that you love the channel, man. I really do. But that's my take on it. I expect a couple of trades. I expect a couple of DFAs, probably more trades than anything because I know Cashman doesn't like giving up guys without getting anything in return, and the DFA does that. And the only thing you get in return is payroll relief. But I think they're going to try to pack as many guys in trades as possible over the next day and a half. So that's my take on it. It's your boy. But thank you so much for that super chat, Dono. Give me your take, man. Give me your take. Pac-Man too. Gemini, man. I love that we have so many Geminis here. That's awesome. Give me your take. It's your boy. And again, thank you again, bro. You're the man. Mullins for center field will be phenomenal. I just don't see Baltimore moving him to a division rival. I really don't. But if there's any way they can get him, I'd sign up for it. They're going to have to give up a shitload, though. That's for sure. Jeter's a great Yankee and a great player. No doubt he deserves unanimous Hall of Fame, but not a great shortstop. Good for a short amount of time. He was pretty good, man. 5 Gold Gloves. Okay. He had some range. His talent upside in terms of defensive prowess range is not as good as Correa, but I would not, unless he has more Gold Gloves or more rings than Jeter, I would not be criticizing Jeter. Like, what's the point of that? What's the point? What's that going to accomplish him? Go to the Tigers and go over there and not win anything. Go right ahead. They'll pay you what you want. You can go over there. They're not getting Verlander now. So go to the Tigers and not win anything. And the Yankees will win a couple of rings while you're over there in Detroit being overpaid. Go right ahead, Correa. Get this, Jeter. But Jeter's, again, if near unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer, Gold Glove, he was the captain here and only Yankee to get 3,000 hits. I don't even see Correa getting 3,000 hits. So, he doesn't really have much credibility. You could criticize his defense, but he made more great plays than he made bonehead plays. So, but that's my take on him. But he's free to say what he wants, man. He's free to say what he wants. Verlander is old. Yeah. At this point, if he pitches well, fine. And I just hope he doesn't crush us in the postseason. But if they lose Correa and they start to lose some other guys, I could see them struggling a little bit. So, but they're still going to be good. They have a lot of talent over there, the Astros. So, but good luck to you back at back with the Astros. The Yankees will hopefully spend that money elsewhere. At least you know it was available. They were willing to pay somebody, a pitcher, $20 million a year. So I'm hoping that they use that money for somebody else. We know that they were likely willing to do that. So that says something. To what extent? I don't know. Simonetti Source, NYY News. Keep up the good work, my friend. Thank you, sir. Keep up. Same to you, man. I appreciate your support. I was on your live earlier, man. You're keeping it real, man. So I try to do the same over here, bro. So I appreciate you. And you're doing your thing. So thank you, man. Cheers to you, bro. Cheers to you. And for keeping it 100 is always, I like that, man. I like that. So again, always welcome. If you want to do something together, you let me know. And we can rock this. We can rock this shit on YouTube, man. We can rock it, man. It'll be a lot of fun, too. Be a lot of fun. But dude, Simonetti, while you're on here, man, like what's your if they could make 2 moves this offseason and you had the call as to what they would be, what would you do with your knowledge and your experience and your expertise? What would you do? And in all honesty, your insight's always welcome, man. I appreciate your insight, man. Jesus, the king, man. ¿Qué pasa? Thank you. Appreciate that. NY News in the house, man. Yeah, welcome to the Mafia, too. 161 Mafia and one for Mr. Simonetti, for Pete, and one for you, Jesus. Appreciate you both, man. Thank you for the donos, man. I appreciate you. So I'm rocking the train station swag here, too, so I got to keep it real. Been a while since I've been to this train station, but I used to take this one right here to the games all the time, the number 4. Coming from Manhattan, 59th Street, Manhattan, all the way up. Express train, few stops, you're there, man. One of the quickest rides ever. Used to wait like 3 days for the D train. So forget that. 4 training days, man. 4 training days, baby. Who else we got here? Correa. Yeah, he wasn't that great. He had a monster home run, man. So, he did put him back. I would be happy that if they don't get Correa or Seager, I would be happy if they got Semien or Story, because like I said too, you pack Semien with a Ray, you can get them both for the price of one Correa. You pack Story with Story with Ray, you can get him for the price of Seager. Either way, I would rather get 2 guys for the price of one. Correa can only play one position at one time. Seager the same. So that's why I would rather get a couple guys. If they're going to spend that much money, might as well do it addressing multiple holes, because it doesn't really matter. You can bring in, even if they got Juan Soto here, he's not going to fix everything for the Yankees. He's superstar. He's phenomenal. Trout's not going to fix everything either. Neither is Ohtani. So that's what I mean. One player is not going to fix everything. Yankees have multiple holes. So, and this is, to me, in my opinion, a multiple offseason repair project. So I think it's important to be patient. And I think it's important to be realistic and aggressive. Yeah. I'd love if they were aggressive, and we all would love if the Yankees would be aggressive. But at the same time, we're also dealing in planet Earth here. So, and we know how Cashman and them operate, and how, cryptic Cashman and invisible Hal. We don't know Dick, but beginning Cashman is known to pull rabbits out of his hat and pull, some kind of Houdini ass trade out of nowhere. And like I said, he doesn't usually get fleeced in trades. He's stingy with prospects. So I'll give him that. He's better in trades in the offseason than he is at the deadline. And he's generally better with trades than he is in free agency. So this is his time to shine. But this is the offseason for the Yankees to go for the gusto. The talent is too robust, okay? And it's going to be more, better than this next couple of years. And they have, they got under the thresholds, and now's the time to strike. And again, if payroll descending they have 140 million coming off the payroll collectively over the next 5 years. So their payroll in 2026 is like 82 million. So now's the time to strike. And again, you balance those expensive contracts with good role players and good young guys like Volpe and Dominguez at that point, if they're around. So then they'll have a much more well-balanced team. Olsen and Ray. Dude, Olsen would be the number one guy again. And, I like Freeman, but Freeman's going to be more expensive. He's older. Olsen's 5 years younger than Freeman and Rizzo. Olsen's worth it. If I could, there's any way you can get Olsen and Sean Murphy, I would do it. But I mean, Olsen and another pitch, and I think Cashman's event at the end of the day trying to swing a deal for Olsen and one of the pitchers. I don't think he's going to give 4 or 5 guys just for Olsen alone. So, and Ray Simonetti too. I think Ray's worth the risk. So just like you said too, I'm with you 100%. So, and again, he could take the pressure off of Cole, and they would have a legitimate top 2 up front, getting strikeouts, getting innings, like, and ease the load off the other guys in the bullpen. Which to me, I would have Severino and Nestor Cortez in the bullpen for now until Severino shows he can come back and be a starter. Then I throw him in the rotation. But I want to protect that guy. He's missed 2.5 out of his 4-year extension. I want to make sure he can throw 3 innings and recover, then 4 and recover before I throw him to the Wolves. I think they're probably going to wind up throwing him to the Wolves, but I don't know. I hope not. That's why 2 starting pitchers, in my opinion, would be fantastic because these guys are always going down with pitching injuries every fucking year. The Yankees have 2 guys, 4 guys, 5. We already have one of them down already, Tyon. He's already down. We're, 4 months from the season, and he's still going to be down. So, would be nuts. But Olsen and Ray, man, no doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. Jack C is pissed. Why is he pissed? What did I do? Did I miss him here? What did I do to Jack C? Did I insult him? What happened, Jack? Give me some intel here. Do I have other handles for us to... Monkey's uncle. Well, my Instagram page is diehard Yankee fan 447. If anybody, we should reach out to me directly. My email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out to me there too. But those are the easiest ways to reach me, especially if you want to do something YouTube related, if something we can put together. The pros definitely outweigh the cons, Pete. 100%. And again, he's going to capitalize off of this winning the Cy Young, and honestly, he deserved to win the Cy Young. Had Cole not gotten hurt and continued his momentum, I think Cole would have won. But Ray, at the end of the day, deserved to win the Cy Young. And you put 2 Cy Young guys up there, I think he'll push. Cole, and that's what I thought Verlander would push Cole too, and make him better. But at the end of the day, as soon as they attached a qualifying offer to Verlander, I was out. So I don't want to pay him that type of money and have to give up a 2nd-round draft pick and have to give up international prospect money. No way. So you give Ray the money. And again, you can still get Story or Simeon in here. And if you add Ray and one of those guys up, it's still not going to cost as much as Correa. So I'm with you. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. And again, his strikeout rate is historically high. So, he gets a lot of Ks. And I think Blake, you let him work with Blake, and Blake will make some tweaks with him too, and he'll make him better. So, and again, you're taking him away from Toronto. And it's another thing. Let Toronto sign Rodon or let Toronto sign Stroman. I don't care, but take Ray from them. So that's what I would do. And Carrie, at the end of the day, or Carl, at the end of the day, I think he's probably going to wind up being 6 years, $150. I would say 6 years, $150 million. That's be my estimation as to what Ray would cost. I don't see him getting. Had he not won the Cy Young, I could see him getting 5 years, but winning, I could see him getting 6. So, but I'm not opposed to Kevin Gausman either. He would not cost as much. Plus, he doesn't come with a qualifying offer. But would it be nice if they got both? Yeah, but I don't see that happening. So, but yeah, one of my news, Pete Simonetti he has great points on Robbie Ray, and I agree with him. So, and I predicted Ray to the Yankees, and I predicted them Toronto replacing Ray with Rodon in my predictions video. So, and again, he gets rocked especially, but he's going to be surrounded. He's going to be surrounded by a better lineup. He's going to be surrounded by a better rotation, And again, being a number 1 here will be a little bit of a different pressure situation too. I know the New York environment is completely different than Toronto, but if anybody can handle it, I think it's him. And so I think they will both be fantastic here. A good 1-2 combo. Slugger, that guy, Suzuki, I think that guy's name is. That guy, he's going to get posted next week. Jack C is pissed over Verlander. I get it, Mike. I get it. Had he come here, I would have been fine. The money was big, but it shows that the Yankees are willing to spend that type of money on a pitcher. So, which encourages me for somebody like Ray or Gaussman or something like that. I would much rather those guys than Verlander. But as soon as they offered him a qualifying offer, again, that's why I kind of got out. So, because that's too much to give somebody. If it's 29-year-old Verlander, different story. But this is 39 coming off Tommy John. Whole different situation. So, whole different situation. So, that's different. Again, it's a different world. And again, as long as he doesn't, pitch well against the Yankees, I'm cool. Yankees got to rock him. And rock him early. And again, keep in mind, he's coming off Tommy John. I don't think it's realistic to have him throw out 200 innings this year. I think they'd be stupid to throw him right back to the Wolves coming off Tommy John. So he's not going to have that type of season. If he does and he gets hurt, and he exercises his player option that agreed next year, then he's going to toil around injured with the Astros. He's not going to have much value. And that's my other thing. Like, was he going to come here and throw 200 innings? I don't think so. It would have been stupid for the Yankees to do that too. To give the guy at 39 coming off Tommy John 200 inning responsibility? Hell no. Not even going to do it to Severino. He's, 15 years younger. So I'm not going to do it to Justin Verlander, even though he's a Hall of Fame guy. But even so, anybody coming off Tommy John, that'd be nuts. I wouldn't do that to Nolan Ryan. So expected 200, inning season coming off Tommy John. So that's something else to keep in perspective. So I think, the Yankees could have dodged a pretty big bullet here. So, but I get you, Jack. I get you, bro. I get you. I see why you're pissed, man. I think a lot of folks are pissed. But the other thing is, like, was he really going to be like? Would you rather have 2 years of Verlander or 6 of Ray, who's 10 years younger? Like, I'm going with 6 years of Ray, because even after the 6-year contract goes over with Ray at 35, he's still 4 years younger than Verlander. So, there's a lot of different ways of looking at it, in my opinion. So Tanaka's a free agent, Marek, as far as I know. I know there's speculation about him maybe coming here, but I don't know. When he left, he couldn't even get through the 5th inning, and we need some guys who can throw some innings. And I don't see. I like Tanaka. I liked him when he was here, but he's not the same Tanaka anymore. And we need Yankees who can go innings and give us some length. And that's one reason I like Severino and guys like Cortez in the bullpen, for the reason that we don't have enough pitchers in the starting area that can give length. So we need guys like that who can throw multiple innings. So that's why I want a couple of multiple innings eaters in the bullpen, for that reason alone, because the Yankees always have issues with the starting rotation, and they need those kind of bridges from them to the 1-inning guys. And they don't really have that very often. So, but now that they do, I would take advantage of it. I could see Britton being DFA'd, because he's not even, now it's apparently he's not even going to pitch at all next year. So that's the rumor. Again, it could be wrong, but if he's not, if they're very confident in that, just release him and eat the money. What the hell? Why are you going to keep him here? You're still going to eat the money, and you're going to waste the roster spot? Move on. So we have enough guys in the bullpen that can handle what Britton can handle. So Correa wants to beat Lindo. Yeah, he does. So, like I said, Samuel, he's going to go, again, he's going to say, I've always wanted to play in Detroit. Go to Detroit. Let him have his connection with Hinch. Go there and not win. Okay? Enjoy that. So, who cares? It's crazy. There were a lot of Yankee fans bending over Verlander. I get it, man, Savage. I totally get it. Again, great pitcher, but 39 coming off Tommy John, $25 million a year is insanity. But apparently he felt some loyalty back to Houston. And again, I knew that him wanting to come to the East Coast and play for a team here, that come on. I don't, that's baloney. Yeah, I'd collab with Pete any day, man. It'd be a lot of fun. Man. It really would. Rather have Rodon. Well, Rodon's going to be cheaper, and he's not coming with a qualifying offer. But Ray, I'd rather have Rodon and Ray. I'll take both of them instead of one. And then get Story. And then trade for Matt Olson. Whole different team. Right? Simeon's window. Yeah, Simeon, yeah. He's gonna get paid. He's a Boris client, so he's gonna get paid. Like Boris will probably he likes to wait out the most of the offseason to see who's left and who's willing to kind of suck it up and overpay. So he'll probably do that for Seager, but I could see Simeon signing before this potential lockout, him capitalizing on that too, because his contract's going to be shorter. It's going to be big money. So I could see him locking him up before any potential, lockout. So I could see that happening. Boris he's notorious for this type of stuff. No. And he just signed with Boris like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Yankees collect on Britain through insurance. I don't know, Mo. I don't know. If they do, great. It's still part of the payroll, though. It's still added into the payroll. I mean, if insurance pays for it, fantastic. So, and if that's the case, yeah. But that's not always the case. I know they had it a couple years with Ellsbury because his injuries were just like ridiculous. So I'm hoping that's the case with the Yankees. So they don't have to pay us $13 million, but it's still added to the payroll number one way or another. Lorenzo, I would move on. I don't think Greinke could have handled New York at 25 years old. I don't think he's going to be able to handle at 38. No, I think he'd blow up here. Remind me of Jeff Weaver. That's the last thing I want. Do I expect there to be a trade or signing? I think we might wake up to a flurry of stuff tomorrow. There could be something late tonight. I'm looking right now. I don't see anything yet. And again, this is part of the Yankees being frustratingly slow-moving and patient. So, but I see a couple things happening out of necessity either way before the deadline because they have to clear roster spots. Otherwise, they're going to lose some big-time prospects to teams who will eat them up like Boston did with Whitlock. So they have to do stuff in the next day and a half. They absolutely have to. If Luis Hill doesn't see 100 innings this year, barring injury, the Yankees, 100-plus innings would be reasonable, Dustin. I wouldn't expect him to throw 200, and I still have him at the back of the rotation until he builds himself up and proves that he can handle it. He pitched really great last year. I don't know why the hell they sent him down. You don't send down somebody who's on a heater. Like, I never understood that logic. Suzuki would be great. I mean, he looks like a dynamic kind of contact hitting guy. He could be the center field option. I mean, make it easier for them to move on from Hicks, who is apparently going to be playing some kind of winter ball. And Marquez would be good, Mo, from the Rockies. But I'm, hearing speculation too that he's no longer available. But who knows? You give the team enough, of an offer, then guys become available all of a sudden. So that's only so much I buy for that stuff. The Blue Jays, Rob Berrios, he's worth. Yeah, I mean, Blue Jays got him up. They got to steal. But he agreed to it. But $130 million, I mean, shit. $130 million is, more money than I'll ever see. Helping Penn. Kenley Jansen, I think, is probably going to wind up going to the Phillies, in my opinion. I would go after like Andrew Chafin and even Kendall Graveman here. But the Yankees have a lot of depth in the bullpen. So, but if they move on from Britton, if they release him, I would go after Chafin. If they somehow move on from like Chapman or somebody, I would go after Graveman immediately. So that's what I would do. Buck Showalter becomes a I don't know, Monkey's uncle. I don't know. It would be nice to have a player, a coach who's not afraid to light a fire under some people's ass. That's where one of my criticisms about Boone. I mean, it's this was the Bronx Country Club. I mean, we got to get back to the Bronx Zoo, man, and we're not there yet, man. Simonetti, I agree with you. I think we'll have a deal or a couple deals by Friday. I mean, I think they have to, right? I mean, I think they need to probably clear 4 or 5 roster spots to protect certain guys from that Rule 5. So unless it's going to be and I think any trade with Oakland's going to be us sending more guys and obviously are coming back. So it's a way of getting 3 or 4 off the off the thing for bringing 1 or 2 back. So they'll be net negative either way in terms of roster spots, which I think will be a good thing. So, but I could see them, Anthony Mayo, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I could see them, I'm with you there. I can see them doing a couple things. But I have, I'm confident that I think that Andujar can be moved and Frazier and even Odor, even though Odor had his moments last year, they could replace him. So a couple other guys too. So, I mean, Voit, obviously, and some other guys. So And my guess is Voit would probably be included in the trade for Olsen, but who knows? I mean, we're hearing this, we're hearing that, but like it could be completely different by the time a trade happens. So, and it usually is. So we'll see. I mean, and you know, Cashman pulls some shit out of his out of his sleeve all the time when we least expect. And I've always said this: like when you think he's going to do a lot, he does nothing. When you think he's going to do nothing, he does a lot. He's just this type of Houdini guy. He's completely back and forth with that stuff. So that's the ninja part of him. So, yeah, Matt, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, my guess is he'll probably go to Detroit for 3 years. I mean, for 10 years, 340 plus. I mean, if they want to pay him that much, let him, you know, and then I think they have Prince Fielder's money coming off the books at some point. They gave him like a 3,000-year deal, and he's been injured for 5 years, hasn't played. So, and then Miguel Cabrera's contract comes off the book next year, so that will look more. They'd be able to eat it a little better. So, but let him go to Detroit. Go right ahead. Detroit's going to be aggressive. I mean, add him and Eduardo Rodriguez. That's a nice start. And they have a nice young nucleus of players. So, Griminator, what's happening too, man? Yeah, we got the Simonetti in the house, man. It's nice to see him on here, man. Nice to see him on here. Zach Greinke's the greatest pitcher to suck in big games. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think he'll handle Jason. I don't think he can handle New York. You know, and he's even said so. Like he's had anxiety problems, and New York is like. I mean, you can imagine, like, you know, over in Milwaukee or Arizona or even Houston, you have 2 or 3 reporters. You have 300 in your face in New York. And the other thing is, like, you know, you have beat writers and reporters afraid to ask the hard questions. You got to be able to press these guys too and not be afraid. Like, you know, and I've said this, if you're going to press Cole for a bad game, you got to press Judge the same way. It's no different. I don't care if Judge is homegrown. If he stinks, you got to get on him. Just like Stanton, when he stinks, you get on him. Same treatment across the board. So, and so many of these guys are afraid of doing that. And that, to me, that drives me nuts. I can't stand that. So if you're going to do it to everybody. Don't pick and choose who you're going to pick on. I don't think we're getting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need Correa or Seager. They're the attractive options there. You know, the guys, but like, I would be happy with Simeon or Story over those guys. And again, you can get Story and Ray. You can get, you know, him and Eddie Rosario and freaking somebody else for a hell of a lot less than Seager's going to cost. So you can address multiple holes. And to me, that's a better value than one guy because, like I said, Correa's only going to do so much. Seager's only going to do so much. You know, when they still have other moves they need to make. If you're 4 holes away, bringing in one guy for one position is not going to fix the other issues. It's not. So Yankees have a lot to do. They do. So, and again, it's nice to have it, but you know, when they traded for A-Rod, they were already stacked. Like, and you know, you know, and I don't know if you remember, but Boone is the reason they traded for A-Rod. Boone was playing basketball in the offseason, and he tore his ACL or something like that. That's when they traded Alfonso Soriano to Texas for A-Rod. So they did it because of Aaron Boone. So it's crazy, but kind of how it comes full circle, but it is what it is. But again, Correa is not A-Rod. Okay? A-Rod's had his issues, and he's known to be a nuts too, and he's had a suspension. But look at just, I mean, their stats, 2 years of A-Rod stats are 5 years of Correa. So, like, you know, that's the other thing too. Thomas, black belt running coach at gmail.com. Davis, if anybody has any inquiries or whatever, that's the way to reach me. That's my email. So Reynolds in the outfield is going to cost a ton, an absolute haul, but he's the one guy that I think would be worth it. So, but they're going to have to pay. But just if you're going to pay for those guys, it's going to hurt. So we just have to be okay with that. The Yankees have to show some willingness to move some of these pieces to get a guy like that who's under control for 4 more years. Like, they have the pieces. And if you're not going to, you know, let them at some point get to the major leagues like they do a lot, then trade the guys and get somebody that you want. Yankees, you know, they do a terrible job at that. They keep these guys hoarding, just stuck in the minor leagues all the time. Then trade them for a big piece. What the freak is the problem? You know? Jesus the King Chavez, my brother, man, I appreciate you. Thank you again. Well, this is my Yankee cup, first off. My Bronx Bomber. This is just water. This is not vodka or anything like that. If it was vodka, it would be red with a cranberry or yellow with some pineapple with some flavor. This is water. This is my water at night. I do I flush out my body, and then I'm going to go stretch and do a little exercise. I do that at night most of the time. So, and then I kind of dial it down. So, but it's water, baby. This is water, agua. But thank you again for the donut on the super chat. I appreciate you, man. I really do. And there's no way I'd be drinking this much vodka anyway. I'd be dead. I can't handle that much. That's a boatload of vodka or tequila. Oh my god, I'd be on my feet would be up in the air. I'd be on the floor because I would have passed out already. So, but thank you again, Jesus, the king, bro. My off season will be trading for Cody Bellinger, Rizzo, underrated pitcher, cheap in a trade, maybe Bassett, then a shortstop. Let's get whoever agree to 3 years or less. I don't know that any of those guys are going to agree to 3 years. I think the only guy we can get for 3 years or less will be Andrelton Simmons. The only guy. Yeah, interesting. I mean, Bellinger would be an interesting. I mean, he went from his MVP year to this year, so I just don't know what to expect from him. I don't know. But they probably have to give up a lot for him. I mean, Eddie Rosario, I mentioned him recently. He represents it. He's got quite a few things that represent skill sets that the Yankees need. Olsen obviously is, a lot of our number one pick for first base. And I think until that's resolved, I don't see anything happening with Rizzo. If it's resolved and he's not coming here, I can see them jumping on Rizzo immediately. I can see that. Brian Cashman has to be active tomorrow, Ron, and into Friday. I don't remember what time the deadline, whether it's 11:59 at night or 5 p.m., but Friday's the deadline to submit these names. So Brian Cashman has no choice but to be active tomorrow if he's serious about protecting guys. Otherwise, they're all going to be left vulnerable to the Rule 5, and they're going to lose a lot of top prospects. So why keep Frazier here? Why keep Andujar when they're just eating up roster spots when they have no trade value? Get these guys that you want to protect on this roster. You know what I mean? Chop. Freeman and a youthful center fielder. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's possible too. Youthful is, yeah, I mean, that's kind of up and open too because they like the center fielders that we don't really know aside in the free agency, aside from Starling Marte, maybe a couple of guys who, the youthful guys are probably going to have to be traded here. And, like a Brian Reynolds is a useful center fielder. He would be fantastic. He'd be very useful here. You know what I mean? Rumor of an Olsen trade coming out tomorrow. I mean, I hope it's more of a rumor. I mean, more than a rumor. I hope it's reality. Like at some point, I think I hope that it happens. So I think they're still haggling back and forth over. I think Cashman's trying to get somebody added to it, and I think the other guys are trying to get the Yankees to overpay for Olsen alone. Because I think they're going to try and trade guys in individual trades to try to maximize the returns. But the Yankees have enough to give them a robust return for Olsen and a pitcher, and the Yankees have a need for a pitcher. So my perfect world would be Olsen and Sean Murphy, but I see them. He's got 4 years of control left. I see them building around Murphy, and then probably trading him 2 years from now when he has 2 years of control and he's going to become really expensive. So I just don't see him trading him now. But I would love it. I mean, that's the trade you give a haul for, in my opinion. That would be a monster trade, him and Sean Murphy. That would address 2 big holes for the Yankees immediately. Then they can DFA Gary Sanchez or trade him, save $8 million immediately. So, yeah. Yeah, Jason, I mean, it's water, man. I don't really drink that much. I like my piss-tasting Corona on occasion with a lime and some drinks on occasion. But, yeah, I'm up. I have 2 little daughters, young daughters, so they keep me busy. So I got to be fresh in the morning when I get up. I got to have my energy. I can't be tore up. So otherwise these girls are going to destroy me. So I got to do it. But it's definitely water at night, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've said this repeatedly. They need another option aside from Sanchez. That's why I keep pushing for trades for top-end catching prospects because we don't have an obvious replacement for Gary Sanchez in the system. We don't that are anywhere close. Carlos Vids, gracias. Thank you, man. Thank you for the dono super chat, man. I really appreciate it. I want Story, Starling Marte, Jacob Stallings, and either Riz or Olsen. That will be a monster offseason. So, a defensive catcher is needed before picking up any arms. Yeah, that's why I keep pushing, for Sean Murphy, but I know it's, less realistic as somebody like Jacob Stallings. So, would I be happy? I'd be totally fine with Stallings. I really would. Nobody wants. That's the problem. Nobody wants to. That's why I think it's more realistic at this point to get a catcher and then DFA him. Unless the National League adopts the DH, you can hold on to Sanchez until that's decided upon. And then if he becomes a more appealing trade target, if the National League adopts the DH because of his bat, because then you could just move him to DH and people won't have to pitch to him. So you can hold on to Sanchez until that point, but I would not wait. I would bring in a catcher now if I could. And then at that point, if the National League doesn't adopt a DH, you DFA the guy. He's still in arbitration. You can DFA him and not eat any contract. So this is his last year before he becomes a free agent. So, they can get out of it with nothing. But that's why I'm encouraging. I really hope that they get a legit catcher here. Because I think it's time for them to move on from Sanchez. They keep him. I hope he plays well. But they need somebody who can handle the pitching rotation, a starting rotation and relievers better than Sanchez. And they need, somebody who they actually want to throw to. Two of the starters, like Cole and Kluber at some point, did not want to throw to the guy. That's a problem. And they have other teams who don't want him to go there either. So that's why I think he's best suited as a DH. Preserve his legs. Let him hit 35 home runs somewhere. Go to the Marlins and do it. They already brought in Marcus Timms today as their new hitting coach. So Jeter's taking Yankee people. Already took their, Kim Nagu, I think, NG. She's there. She worked for the Yankees before as like assistant GM. She's their GM now. So they're just taking Yankee people left and right. So Jeter knows how to poach and where to poach. But they can have Timms. So they can have him. Yeah, that's what I think. That's that's why I think, Steve. I don't think they're going to trade Murphy just yet. 2 years from now, when he has 2 years left, like Olsen, and they'll trade him then. Because at that point, they're not going to pay him either in free agency. So that's why I keep getting, go after somebody. Water from the it's water, baby, from the hills. That's right. That's why, MJ Melendez, he's blocked by Salvatore Perez. There's a couple other guys, you can get maybe Stallings or something like that from other teams. Like, if you can get a trade, okay. You get a Wilson Contreras, I take that too. They're all upgrades over Sanchez. He might not have the offensive ceiling as Sanchez does, like a Contreras, but he's more consistent across the board. And he's a much better game caller. I'll take that as an upgrade any day and let the other bats be the boppers. Especially if you get Olsen, you get some of these other guys, you're going to have the offense everywhere else anyway. I'll take a guy who can handle the rotation well. Any day. That's a hell of that makes a difference. It does. So Green and Britton. I could see Chad Green potentially being moved in a trade. And I'm hearing there's a lot of reports now too that teams are having interest in some of their relievers. So we'll see. Dono hype and Dono love for all of you. Anybody that gave Donos, I appreciate you. Even if you haven't, I don't, I appreciate all donos, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Wednesday night, Saturday night. So, Walker Buehler, yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I could see Trevor Bauer, and he already exercised his player option. He's going to take their money one way or another, even if they don't play him. He's still taking his money one way or another. So, we definitely dodged a bullet with Trevor Bauer. So I'm glad of that one. San Diego top catcher. Are you talking about Camposano? I think it is. I forgot his name. That San Diego catching prospect is legit, though. Austin Allen from Oakland. Maybe. Yeah, we don't know yet, Daddy Shock. I hope it comes to the National League. But they have to, that's one of the things they're negotiating over. So I really hope it does. So, that would, give options for guys like Sanchez and for Voit and stuff like that who are kind of don't have a position anymore because they keep getting hurt. Like, those would be perfect DH candidates. So Hal's going to spend $300 for a short. None of these guys are $300 million. In my opinion, none of them are $300 million players. So, like, I did a video earlier, and I compared stats from Correa, Seager, Simeon, and Story. And Simeon and Story had a more balanced offensive profile than the other two, and they're going to cost half the price. There's no way in the world I would give $300 million to Correa or Seager. That's me, but I would never do it. I mean, a catcher, we can get a catcher that's legit. I mean, I'm open to it. So, and again, if that's the case, Austin now he's blocked by Sean Murphy. So, yeah, it would be nice. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think the Yankees need to be aggressive for a catcher, one way or another. They do not have an obvious replacement for Sanchez in the system, anywhere close. So, and again, he's a free agent after next year. What are we going to just be left with? Nothing. So they're not getting some of the big guys. I mean, I would have loved him to get JT Realmuto because this would be a moot point right now. But I know they had to balance their their payroll stuff. So I get it, but it is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised, James, if the Yankees made a move tonight either, a late night move or whatever. And then I'll be here like, oh, shit, like breaking news like this or whatever. But I get up pretty early in the morning, so and I usually do a couple videos or I'll get stuff ready for the morning, and so I'll definitely be reporting it. Obviously, if something happens, you'll know about it as soon as we wake up. So if something happens, that's the rumors. Man, not that the Yankees are not going to invest in it. I don't think they have to anyway. So there's too many holes to fill. I think they should spread the money out. So, and again, you get Robbie Ray and Trevor Story, sign me up. Robbie Ray and Simeon, sign me up. You just took two dudes away from Toronto. And I could see Simeon going to like Boston and playing second there with Bogarts at short. Like, they're under the radar team for Boston. I would hate for them to go to Boston. So, and by bringing him here, you can keep him away from Toronto and Boston. So, Undead Dragon. Yeah, I remember when I was there too, man. 5,000. I mean, thank you, man. I appreciate all you, man. I appreciate the people. You guys have all helped this channel, man. All of you. I want to keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling. These channels are out. Everybody does some good stuff, man. So I'm glad we can feed off each other too. But I mean, Yankee fans know Yankee fans are knowledgeable fans. They're passionate fans. So they're outspoken fans. So I expect nothing less than that on any of the channels, like in Pete's channel or Derek's channel. Pat's like, you got very opinionated but well-informed people. So, and that's what kind of helps make the channel great. So, and people aren't afraid to speak their mind, which is great too. Yeah, Salvi, I don't see happening at all, Dustin. I just don't. After that year he had last year, oh my God. To me, he's the favorite for the, co-favorite for the MVP. And Ohtani's probably the most likely winner, but I would not be surprised at all if Salvador wins it tomorrow. Boston's got, Jeter Downs, I think it is, right, Emmanuel? For the National League, Andujar, Gary, they could be. Could be. I mean, the Yankees could move right now for one of the Marlins' young controllable pitchers. They've even said they're open to moving them for offensive pieces. Hopefully Cashman's talking, with them too. So, a day in the life video, monkeys. I could do that. That's a good idea. Let me see what I can come up with, Monkey's Uncle. That's a good idea. So I appreciate that. Exactly, James. These are like things that, I try to say that because it's that reason. Like if they get Red Sox get them, it's going to suck for us, right? And JD didn't leave, so you add him to that offense, and that's going to be deadly, man. Deadly. I actually mentioned Baez as an option, but he's like my fifth option for shortstop. He's deceptively solid too, so I would be fine if they got him. And he's not going to cost $200+ million. So, and again, like you guys are saying too, Simeon beat the shit out of us. We got to get that guy over here. Like, Story has like a 350 average at Yankee Stadium, so that's something to overlook too. When he comes over here, he plays really well, and with the Rockies. So I would look at that one too. Day in a life. Let me see what I can come up with. I mean, it's not that exciting. Walking down the block and Tim's and Luton. Yeah. Buy his one, but the Red Sox, I could see that. Tim's. I haven't worn Tim's in a while, man. I haven't worn Tim's in a while. But I put it together. I put it together when I go out. So, you know. Hitman, yes. Yep. From Manhattan to Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan. Scherzer, I don't know if Scherzer has beef with New York. He's crazy like that. I think he might be a little too quirky for New York. So he's quirky. Now doesn't like being touched by his team. He's like, but he's a gamer and a bulldog. So I don't care what the frick he does. Outside if he if he's a gamer here, then I'm all for it. Well, that's the thing. Like, I can't see Judge going there for their, two young pitchers or whatnot, Gerald. I don't think they're going to be able to afford him, the Marlins, but I could see the Marlins trading their young pitchers for like a Gleyber Torres and a Luke Voigt and getting a couple of pieces in return, controllable pieces. I could see that. They need offense, and the Yankees can give them quite a bit of it. So, and the Yankees can get one of them young pitchers in return because they still have young pitchers in the pipeline that need to come up. So, they're loaded up in pitching. They're loaded up. So they do have they can match up nicely for a trade. White Sox. I see them losing Rodon, but I could see them replacing him with somebody. Probably getting. It's a good question, Samuel. If they lose Rodon, I could actually see them replacing him with like a Cashman or a Marcus Stroman is an underrated sign. So I think they'll make some kind of trade too, Chicago. How say you want to see? Well, good. I mean, they should talk. I mean, now's the time to pounce. This is the only time the Yankees could be in a win-win situation. If they give him an extension, he signs, and he's here with them, great. If he turns it down, then they can get a package for him in a trade. After this offseason, they lose all leverage in trade. So you can't do anything in the next offseason. You're going to let him walk in free agency if you're not going to let him sign. Like, you make the offer now. If he says no, you trade him immediately. That's it. Capitalize and move on. Yeah, they have no choice. So they could get Bruce Bryant. He plays multiple positions. They could. So he's an all-star. But it's going to cost money. It's going to cost like $200 million. So. But it's possible. It's possible. But I didn't realize how late it was, guys. So let me let you all go. Thank you always for coming on with me. I appreciate you. I got more stuff coming out in the next couple of days. So I think you'll enjoy them. If anybody hasn't subscribed yet, it's on here. Please do so and hit the notification so you're filled in on everything this offseason. So I'll keep you updated on everything. But Simeon or Story on 5 years, I would sign up for. But again, thank you always. You are the best. Have a great night. See you guys on Saturday. Over and out.